Have you ever gotten paid and felt relieved for about 5 minutes? Then the bills come out. Rent, groceries, the car payment, a few subscriptions you forgot about, maybe a credit card payment from last month. And suddenly, most of your paycheck is gone. You start thinking, if I could just earn a little more, everything would be fine. But sometimes the problem isn't only how much money you make, it's the system you're using. In this video, I'll show you 5 practical steps that can help you stop feeling trapped between paychecks and start building some breathing room. Let's start with a simple example. Imagine 2 people named Daniel and Marcus. They both earn $3,500 a month. They live in the same city. They have similar bills. Neither one is earning a huge salary, but Daniel is constantly stressed about money. A few days before payday, he checks his bank account before buying groceries. If an unexpected expense comes up, he immediately reaches for his credit card. Marcus has problems too. He isn't perfect with money, but every time he gets paid, he follows the same order. He pays for the essentials first. He puts something aside for the future. Then he spends what's left. That one difference changes everything. Daniel spends first and tries to organize the leftovers. Marcus organizes his money first and spends what's left. That's the system we're going to build. The first thing you need to know is your monthly survival number. That sounds complicated, but it's really just this. How much money do you need to keep your life running? Not your ideal lifestyle, not the amount you would spend if money were unlimited. Just the amount needed for the basics. Start with your housing, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, and minimum debt payments. For Daniel, the numbers might look like this. Rent, $1,300. Utilities, $200. Groceries, $450. Transportation, $400. Insurance and minimum debt payments, $500. That gives him a survival number of $2,850. Since Daniel brings home $3,500, he has about $650 left after the essentials. That $650 is important. Before doing this calculation, Daniel simply felt like his entire paycheck disappeared. Now he can see exactly where the pressure is coming from. This is why tracking your expenses matters. It may not feel good at first, but uncertainty is usually more stressful than the truth. Once you know your survival number, you can stop asking, where did all my money go? You can start asking, what should I do with the money that remains? Now we need to find the small expenses that quietly drain your account. Most people don't go broke because of one $1,000 purchase. Usually it happens through dozens of smaller decisions. A coffee here, a food delivery order there, a subscription you barely use, a quick online purchase after a stressful day. Each one seems harmless, but together, they can become a serious problem. For the next 30 days, look through your bank and credit card statements. Don't judge yourself yet. Just look for patterns. Separate your spending into 3 groups: essential, useful, and automatic. Essential spending keeps your life running. Useful spending gives you real value. Automatic spending happens because you stopped paying attention. That last group is often where the leaks are hiding. Maybe you're paying for 3 streaming services but only watching 1. Maybe you're ordering food 4 times a week because you don't have a simple meal plan. Maybe you're buying things whenever you feel bored or stressed. You don't have to cut every enjoyable expense. That usually creates a budget you can follow for about 10 days before giving up. Instead, find the 3 expenses that cost you the most but add the least value. Start there. The goal isn't to make your life miserable. The goal is to make sure your money is going toward things you actually care about. This may be the most important step. Most people get paid and follow this pattern. They spend some money, they pay a few bills, they spend a little more. Then they hope something is left over. The problem is that something usually isn't left over, so reverse the order. When your paycheck arrives, do this. First, cover your essential expenses. Second, transfer money into savings. Third, make your debt payments. Then, spend what remains. This is often called paying yourself first, and it doesn't have to mean saving a huge amount of money. If you can only save $25 or $50 each payday, start there. For Daniel, Saving $100 from each paycheck would give him $200 a month. After 3 months, that's $600. After 6 months, that's $1,200. That probably won't make him rich, but it can keep a flat tire, medical bill, or unexpected repair from becoming a financial disaster. The bigger benefit is that Daniel no longer has to rely on motivation. The money moves automatically before he has a chance to spend it. If you have high-interest debt, paying that down may be more important than investing right now. If you don't have any emergency savings, your first goal could simply be building a small financial cushion. The exact amount depends on your situation, but the principle is simple. Protect some of your paycheck before the rest of the world gets access to it. A monthly budget looks fine on paper, but real life doesn't happen on paper. Bills arrive at different times. Some weeks are more expensive than others, and it's easy to spend too much during the first week of the month and struggle during the last one. That's why a weekly spending limit can be easier to follow. Remember Daniel's $650 remaining after essential expenses. Instead of treating that as one large amount, he could divide it across the month. For example, he might allow himself around $150 per week and keep the rest for unexpected expenses. Now Daniel has a number he can actually use. He doesn't have to wonder whether he can afford dinner or a small purchase. He can simply ask, does this fit inside my spending limit for this week? That makes overspending easier to catch. If he spends $250 during the first week, he knows there's a problem immediately. He doesn't have to wait until the end of the month to discover that his account is empty. You can also use a simple 24-hour rule. If something isn't essential, wait 1 day before buying it. If you still want it tomorrow and it fits your budget, you can make a more thoughtful decision. But if you completely forget about it, you probably didn't need it in the first place. That small pause can prevent a lot of unnecessary spending. Now, there's something important we need to talk about. A higher income can help, but a raise doesn't automatically create financial freedom. Daniel thought earning more money would solve everything. He made $3,500 a month and felt trapped. So he told himself he would be fine once he earned $4,000. Then the raise came. For a few months, life felt easier, but then his spending increased. He upgraded his phone. He ate out more often. He started spending more on weekends. Before long, he was earning more, but feeling just as stressed. This is called lifestyle inflation. It happens when your expenses rise along with your income. So when you get a raise, decide where the money will go before it arrives. You might send half towards savings or debt. Use part of it to improve your lifestyle, and keep a small portion for enjoyment. The percentages don't have to be perfect. The important thing is making the decision ahead of time. Otherwise, your old spending habits will quickly absorb the extra money. You don't have to fix your entire financial life this week. That approach usually creates stress, not progress. Instead, give yourself 90 days. During the first 30 days, focus on awareness. Track your spending. Calculate your survival number. Find your biggest leaks. During the next 30 days, build your system. Automate your savings. Schedule your bills. Set a weekly spending limit. Create a separate savings account if that helps you avoid spending the money. During the final 30 days, choose your biggest financial pressure. Maybe it's a credit card balance. Maybe it's an expensive car payment. Maybe your rent is too high. Maybe your income is inconsistent. Whatever it is, focus on that one problem first. You don't need to solve everything at once. You just need to make your situation a little easier each month. The goal of the 90-day plan is not to become wealthy overnight. The goal is to stop feeling confused. When your money feels confusing, you avoid looking at it. When you have a clear plan, it becomes easier to take action. After 3 months, Daniel still earns the same $3,500. His life isn't perfect. He still buys coffee. He still goes out with friends. Unexpected expenses still happen, but his money no longer disappears without explanation. He knows how much he needs for the basics. He knows how much he can spend each week. His savings transfer happens automatically, and he has stopped waiting for a larger paycheck to begin. One day, Marcus asks him, "So, are you rich now?" Daniel laughs. "No," he says, but I'm not surprised by my bank account anymore. That's a real form of financial progress. It isn't luxury. It isn't a brand new car. It isn't having a perfect investment portfolio. It's being able to look at your money without immediately feeling panic. From there, you can work toward bigger goals. Building an emergency fund. Paying off high-interest debt. Investing for the future. Increasing your income. And eventually, having more control over your time. Most people don't escape the paycheck to paycheck cycle because of one dramatic decision. They escape it through small decisions that they repeat consistently. They find their survival number. They stop the biggest leaks. They save before they spend. They budget by the week. And they give every raise a purpose. You don't have to fix everything today. Start with your next paycheck. Write down 3 numbers. How much money is coming in? How much you need for the essentials? And how much you can protect for your future. Even if that final number is small, start with something you can repeat. One paycheck probably won't change your life, but a better decision repeated every payday can change the direction of your life. If this video helped you, comment below with the first step you're going to take. And subscribe to Max, Financial Investor, for more simple financial stories and practical money strategies. Your future doesn't need perfection, it just needs a starting point.